Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Coming up this week, Disney Cruise Line throws a 4-month-old baby off their ship. I mean, not literally throws them off, but asks them to leave. And then they save someone who apparently, allegedly, jumped off or fell off of the Oasis of the Seas, the Royal Caribbean ship. Also, you can say goodbye to all of those claw machines you find in the arcades around Disney property. We're going to talk a little bit about that and why they're going away. And we're going to tell you the top 10 threads on disboards.com for 2014 and award one person a $500 Disney gift card for having the most popular thread of the year last year. A little later on, Dustin West and the team are going to talk about the best times to visit Walt Disney World in 2015. All that coming up next. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 766 for the week of January 13th, 2015. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends John Magi, Kevin Close, Teresa Eccles, Jenny Lynn Knopp, and back in the production nook, our producer Dustin West, along with associate producer Craig Williams, and our good friend Mr. Will Perry. And almost killed these guys this week on the 7 and 7. We just wrapped it up yesterday. As I had mentioned previously, the 7 and 7s will be going live on February 9th. There'll be a new resort featured each day for 7 days on the site. And I got to tell you, it's probably the last time we're going to do them like this, where we literally do 7 resorts in 7 days. I'm getting too old for this crap. I mean, by the end of it, we started out that first day at the beach club. We were all gung-ho. Everybody's there at 8 o'clock. We were all, yay. By yesterday, we were absolutely delirious.
I think that was the only day that we started right at 8 o'clock, right?
Wilderness Lodge, I think we did 8 o'clock too. But then it went to like 10, and then it was 11, and then it was like, just show up whenever.
We did this years ago in Southern California. I always felt like I was fleeing something.
Yeah, really. I have to say, and this may disappoint some of the people who enjoy my rants. I don't really have a lot of bad to say. I got to be honest. I was really, generally speaking, really happy with the experiences that we had. There are some observations that I have to make, but and there were certainly some dining experiences that were less than stellar. But overall, I think it's going to be pretty positive, at least from my standpoint. I haven't polled the rest of the team, but so that's coming up February 9th, 7 resorts in 7 days. So stay tuned for that. Want to remind everyone also to download the Diz Unplugged app. You can find it on the iTunes Store, the Google Play Store, and the Amazon Marketplace. So it's good for your iPhone, your Android, your iPad, your Android tablet, your Kindle, all that good stuff. You find our shows there, our videos, Facebook feed, Twitter feed, and whatever else we happen to put up. I've got some photo galleries I'm going to be sharing, in particular with the 7 and 7. With a lot of photo galleries going up with that, so those will all appear in our app as we load them up. So go ahead and do that. It's free of charge. Just download it. iPhone. What are you looking at me for?
I'm listening to you. I'm just happy to see you. I haven't been with anybody in so long.
I know she's been isolated.
I know. I've been isolated. Isolation. Just watching. And
also want to remind everyone to please help Craig and Dustin keep their jobs and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if we don't get a certain number of subscribers, we have to take it out on them.
Him.
No, you. No, it goes downhill.
Oh, okay.
Producer, associate producer. You get it first, then him. So just head out to youtube.com/WDWinfo and go ahead and subscribe and get notified every time we put up a new video. Again, during this, when we start doing the 7 and 7s, A lot of videos coming out. Guys, we're shooting a lot of video, so you're not going to want to miss that. Also, remind everybody about the changes to the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged. They go live every Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, on Mixlr.com. That's mixlr.com. You can download that app for your device. I'm not going to go through the list again. Same list I gave you before.
I'll try to throw a link of that into the show notes.
Yeah,
page
make sure we have a
week.
link to Mixlr. I keep calling it MixLR, but it's Mixlr.
Apparently, it's Mixlr.
And in the not too distant future, this show will be going out live audio as well on Mixlr. We're just working on some changes to the studio to allow the live audio to go out. So if those of you who would like to listen live but can't watch or don't want to watch or get fired if you watched at work, be able to listen live.
If you have a device that's able to do like iTunes Radio, Pandora, Last.fm, any of that kind of stuff, you'd be able to do Mixlr as well. It's you can do it over Wi-Fi, but you can also do it over your LTE or 4G on your phone. So you would be able to listen to us live in your car if you really wanted to.
So Disneyland Edition goes live every Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, on Mixlr. The Disneyland News Show is released on Mondays now on iTunes instead of Thursdays. And two segments from the Disneyland Show are released every Tuesday, the day we do our show live. So just want to make sure everybody's aware of the change to that. On this week's Disneyland Edition, Tony Spitel reviewed Counter Service Breakfast at Disney's California Adventure. Plus, the team has part one of their Universal Studios Hollywood 101 series. And I'm sorry, it's Disney California Adventure, not Disney's. I will correct myself there. As it was coming out of my mouth.
It didn't sound right.
Damn, that's not right. And Universal Studios Hollywood, such a great experience. A bunch of us have been there. I love Universal Hollywood. Such a very different experience from the one here in Orlando, namely because it's an actual working movie studio. It's not kind of make-believe movie studio that we have here.
In many ways, it's kind of like the difference between Disney World and Disneyland in California. That was the original, and it has a different vibe, but it's also familiar at the same time in terms of some of the attractions and the layout. But
it's built into the side of a mountain.
That's right.
Which is like just the weirdest thing, to have a theme park built into the side of a mountain. And Craig's like sitting there with absolutely no expression on his face.
What?
Did you not enjoy Universal Hollywood?
Oh, no, I love it.
When does Craig ever have an expression on his face?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's Botox, isn't it? That's why you can't make any facial expressions. You're shot up with Botox.
I went to the salon yesterday. Is that where they do it?
The salon.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
Ask him about
If the guy cutting your hair is also giving you Botox injections, run.
No, his little football team won or something.
They did. National championship.
Was it not Snickerdoodles? Buckeyes.
Yeah.
I know it's a Christmas food.
Well, one's a cookie, though, and one's just a peanut butter treat.
Okay, whatever. They won. So look, you get all excited about that, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay, cool.
Same way Corey would if it was LSU.
Okay.
Sorry, Corey.
Go Packers.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. And speaking of Universal, the rebooted version of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition goes live this Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and it will be up on iTunes and YouTube on Friday. So be sure to check that out. And I believe there's another show that is starting, but not this week.
Correct.
Next to it.
So you talk about it? Or is that who you plan to host? Correct.
The trip, our show, Teresa and I will be hosting, are starting next Wednesday. We'll be live at 1 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a few fun things in store
Lots
to talk about.
Lots of fun, yeah.
Yeah, our show is going to be a little bit more of a broad context, talking about traveling in general rather than a specific destination. Obviously, primarily focusing on the Orlando area, but not necessarily all the time.
We promise it's going to happen. There's just been some scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, just the scheduling. We had said last week it was going to happen this Wednesday, and then there was a scheduling conflict. So it's got to be next Wednesday that you will be able to see Jenny Lynn and Teresa on The Trip, 1 p.m. Eastern Time next Wednesday. So be sure to tune in for that. Anything else in housekeeping?
Is anybody else picturing that NPR skit?
The sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
And Dusty Muffins.
That's That's how I have it in my head, so I don't know how it's going to go.
Is anything else in housekeeping?
Please, no.
No, nothing?
Nope, nothing.
No.
Really? Okay. Well, then let's talk about poll results for last week. And I didn't do a poll for this week yet.
We'll think of something.
We'll think of something.
That's how it goes.
So, 7 and 7 killed us. Just killed us. Last week we asked what it was you were looking forward to at Walt Disney World in 2015. And apparently some people missed the context of this, because we had the box there for other to fill in something that maybe we missed. What Walt Disney World event were you looking forward to in 2015? And while I appreciate that your vacations are very important to you, they are not Walt Disney World events. Because the number of people that in the other box, my Disney vacation, it wasn't what we were
They
looking
were taking their lead from that Parks blog thing. The number one thing to look forward to in 2015 is your vacation.
Well, I mean, and that is something to look forward to, but it's not a Walt Disney World event.
Right, exactly.
But topping the list with more than 30% of the vote, Food and Wine Festival is absolutely the most popular thing people seem to be looking forward to in 2015. There are no surprises on this list. No. But this actually did surprise me. The Flower and Garden and Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party tied for second, 14.5% of the vote. I was surprised that those two things were neck and neck, and that Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party was down the list. It was like number 4. So the Halloween Party, according to our poll here, much more popular.
I agree with that. I like the Halloween party better than the Christmas party.
I like them both.
There's more to do, and you get candy.
Yeah, I mean, they're both
Really?
great, but I do
You
prefer
get
the
a
Halloween
Christmas parade
one.
and the other one. Either any way you look at it, and and I meant to do an article about this after the Halloween party. I just never did. It's a great value. It really is. It's a great value for the money you're spending. These parties, I think they're fantastic. So, as long as you don't spend the $99 for the Villains Unleashed nonsense that I did.
The soiree.
The Villains Soiree, where I basically got to do nothing at the Halloween party and got crappy desserts.
We got cheese and chocolate and a show.
And a little
weird
show. And got to do nothing at the Halloween party because the entire night was taken up with that. And I got to pay an extra $99 a person to do it. But outside of that, these parties are great. So, but Food and Wine topped it at 30%. Flower and Garden and Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at 14.5%. Star Wars Weekend's number 3 with 11% of the vote. And as I mentioned, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party was 4th with 10%. Our winner this week, we select a winner at random every week. Matt Mezek is going to get a $50 Disney gift card from us. So congratulations, Matt. And at some point during the show or tomorrow, I'll put up another poll on Facebook. I just don't know what it's going to be.
Be something good.
Because I didn't do my homework. Yeah, I'll come up with something.
You better.
No, I don't have. I got nobody to answer to. Maybe there'll
The
be a poll.
listeners, you answer to the listeners.
Maybe there'll be a poll. Maybe there'll be.
Oh, I did it.
Wow.
You had to do the whole gay sweeping.
I did. I had to
arm
do
thing.
the big arms.
Big arms. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the news with Johnny.
All right, our first news
And
story.
I'm sorry. His family does call him Johnny. Just so everybody knows that.
Do they really?
Yeah.
It seems like it's taking a long time for me to be able to talk today.
Can we call you Johnny?
No.
I can.
Not if you want to receive a paycheck. All right, our first news story. Family asked to leave Disney Cruise Line ship claims cruise line gave dangerous medicine to 4-year-old baby. A 4-year-old baby and her parents were asked...
4-month.
A 4-month-old, I'm sorry.
The 4-year-old baby.
A 4-month-old baby and her parents were asked to leave a Disney Cruise Line ship and disembark in the Bahamas last week. The family was part of a larger family group of 31 people. The baby began spitting up while on the cruise, and her mother, Jennifer Moak, took her to the doctor on board, where she was given medicine for seasickness. Several hours later, the family received a phone call from the medical office saying another checkup was needed. The family says they were then asked to leave the ship. Moak says, quote, he said because of her age, she wasn't supposed to be on the ship and that they would, I think the word that he used was, be terminating our stay on the cruise. They said the medical staff said because of the baby's age and need for safety, she would have to be taken off the ship. Previously, babies had to be 12 weeks old to sail with Disney Cruise Line, but the policy changed January 1st to 6 months old. The Mokes reservation was made before the policy change. The Mokes and Jennifer's father, Dave Berg, disembarked the ship in the Bahamas. Disney paid for a hotel and the family's flight home. A port agent was assigned to help them, but failed to get in contact with the family. Berg said they were charged for gratuities for the 3 nights they weren't on the ship. The baby was taken to a Bahamian hospital and diagnosed with gas. The bill was $1,200. Disney Cruise Line is unable to comment because of medical privacy. Medical privacy. The official policy when guests must disembark is that a port agent is to help them with the process. A few days later, the family is claiming that their baby was treated with a dangerous medicine while on board. The ship's doctor gave the child Phenergan. Jennifer Moke says she thinks they were made to leave the ship because the medicine isn't approved by the FDA for children under the age of 2, and that the doctors made a mistake. Disney Cruise Line has not commented on the issue.
Elle,
You okay, Teresa?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You gonna cry?
No, it just kind of takes me off.
I want to be fair in saying that there may be circumstances here we're not aware of. Disney's not just going to throw somebody off the ship for no apparent reason. If it was the age of the child, because of the policy change, as John mentioned, the policy changed January 1st, that a child sailing had to be 6 months of age, or older. But if you booked before that policy changed, you were grandfathered in. So technically, based on age alone, they should not have asked this family to leave. A 4-month-old baby spitting up, I think anybody that's ever been around a 4-month-old knows that's what they do. Babies spit up. It happens.
The only issue with that is that depending on how much the child becomes dehydrated.
Well,
And I
wait,
think that's
okay.
a fair...
Spit up to me is wipe it off my shoulder. Was the baby like actually retching, throwing up, or was it
Yeah, the
spit
story
up?
doesn't
That's
say
two different
exactly.
things. And I think the mother would know.
the difference.
Okay, because she's a new mom, obviously. I don't know if she had other children or not, but
Well, at that point, at 4 months old, you know the difference between
you know,
spit up
and you know your child
And
enough.
I've had enough experience with people that had to be removed from the ship for medical reasons to know that normally Disney handles these really, really, really well.
Port agent didn't get in touch with them or couldn't find them. What was the wording? There's more to this story. There's pieces missing.
There's pieces
We don't
missing.
have a full piece. We don't have a
Exactly.
full picture.
Exactly. So I'm not ready to pile on Disney Cruise Line over this because I think it does sound like there's more here that's not being said. To the family's credit, nobody's been talking about lawsuits.
The fact that they've claimed that this doctor gave medicine that he wasn't approved to give,
Might be
Might
setting
be.
up the
that's
cards
just
for
the
it.
first volley.
Yeah, it could be, but
And this story is actually, it's a little bit old, so it's actually progressed over time. At first it was just they threw them off the ship, and then it now has come back that they are upset because the doctor gave the baby medicine it wasn't supposed to have. So this story is still evolving, and I'm sure more pieces will come out. But I would understand, though, that, if they're on the ship and this child is very sick, that the doctor would want to take precautions and get it to a hospital and make sure that it was...
But it sounded more like what the doctor said is you can't be on the ship anymore. It wasn't about getting the baby to a hospital.
And a lot of this story is
the part that sticks with me is that Disney. We've had someone have to get off the ship, and all they kept talking about was how good Disney was about getting them to the hospital and getting them to a hotel and watching the kids while they're. The fact that the port agent didn't get in contact with them or couldn't get in contact. What was the wording on that? They didn't find.
Port agent was assigned to help them, but failed to get in contact with the family.
That, to me, that's the part that's missing. Disney threw them off the ship and no one helped them, but paid for their hotel and
And the
Right.
hospital, right? Didn't it say they paid?
No,
for
They didn't pay for the hospital.
No,
There's just-
a hotel and flights home.
Oh,
there's
okay.
pieces missing.
And Disney's not obligated to pay for a hospital. I mean, if you get sick on the ship.
I just thought I heard that, but apparently I'm just
Just
tired.
picture him adrift on a little boat, waiting to get to the
It
bottom.
wasn't Alien
Just
Gonzalez.
banana boat.
I mean, they
They
were
flew
like,
him home.
You think they
You know,
gave him one of
they
those
threw
rafts from
him
the
off. What a
aqueduct and
horrible-
just sort of floated him out?
yeah.
Right. I mean, look, based on the tone and tenor of the story, yes, it sounds awful. But I'm sorry. Look, I'm be the first person to criticize Disney Cruise Line or Disney in general if they do something wrong. I just think there's more to the story, and that we have to give them the benefit of the doubt because it's just not their history. Been doing this for 17 years.
Someone in chat has pointed out it sounds like Disney felt that they couldn't take care of this child.
That was my point. That the doctor said, listen, it's no longer safe to have this child on board for the child's safety, not for anybody else's. And I think that the wording that it was because of the age of the child comes from the family that was removed.
Right.
I don't believe that that's Disney's.
Well, maybe it was because of the age, but not because of the policy, but because of the the child was so young. It means two different things.
I think we're going to learn more about this, or not.
Yeah.
How's that for vague?
We've covered all the bases.
Hard hitting.
I can't be wrong here.
All right, our second news story, also Disney Cruise Line related. Disney Magic rescues man who fell overboard from the Oasis of the Seas.
Yeah, this one's sketchy.
The Disney Magic has rescued a man who fell overboard from Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas cruise ship. The ships were on the same course to Cozumel and about 8 miles from port when someone on the Magic noticed a person in the water. A lifeboat was loaded and Frank Jade, 22, from the United States, was brought on board. He was taken to a medical clinic once the ship docked at Cozumel and is in stable condition and has no serious injuries. Jade says that he was on one of the Oasis's open decks and a large wave knocked him off the ship. The Oasis was reportedly unaware that a passenger had fallen overboard.
Okay,
I've been hit by a large wave.
Okay. Maybe I'm missing something here, but the open decks on the Oasis
are
at
12 stories.
They're like 12 stories up. Now, if a wave hit that ship big enough and strong enough to knock someone off of the 12th deck, the 12-story high deck, then that ship would have capsized.
Exactly.
It would have been the Poseidon adventure.
Or other people would have been sucked into the ocean.
And lawn chairs and all sorts of other stuff would be floating
I'm
around in the
6'5",
Atlantic.
and I stand next to those railings, and every time you hear about someone falling off, you think to yourself, I'm 6'5". I would have to actively work to get over that rail. Okay?
So I think, I call shenanigans.
I call.
You think he was
drunk.
thrown over?
I call. Yeah. I think he
I
was
think he
drunk.
might have been spitting up, and Royal Caribbean just wanted him off the ship.
Exactly.
Or he's just really bad at trying to kill himself.
Didn't have medicine for a 22-year-old. I think there was roughhousing and/or alcohol involved, and he was in a place he shouldn't have been. And
But no one said, "Oh, my friend just went over."
Well,
I'm surprised.
There are open decks down, like on deck 5, where you can walk around the outside.
Yeah,
of the
but
ship.
a wave isn't going to...
That's still really high up.
However, if a wave came up and yanked him off the ship, wouldn't the wave go inside?
Maybe it was
like, oh, look, the floor's wet.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know if that necessarily means that a wave came up over the deck of the boat, but maybe just that the boat hit a wave strong enough to rock the boat.
No, he said
and
it
knock
swept him
over.
off, didn't
Jenny
it?
Lynn, I'm 6'5".
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not
But what
saying
I'm
this
saying
is legit.
those are high enough.
Yeah.
That
There is no event shy of, God forbid, an explosion
I agree.
that is going to shake that ship enough to
I am
knock
not-
someone over a railing and into the water.
I agree, but
he fell up,
it might have
everybody else on
been-
the ship would have gone,
I agree with you.
we're going sideways.
I agree with you. I'm
it
just
might
saying it
have
might
also-
not be a literal wave coming over the side, but I agree with
No,
you. I don't
you're
think
wrong.
that there's
No.
any way.
No.
Unless he was leaning over and water
Okay.
splashed on his face, and he.
We can speculate all we want. What we know did not happen was a wave hit that ship and knocked him off of it. We know that didn't happen. Okay? The reason I know it didn't happen is because the Oasis of the Seas still exists. And it still sails the ocean. So unless the Oasis of the Seas is, upside down in the Atlantic and Shelley Winters is swimming for
the
her
Christmas
life,
tree.
there is no way.
Manny.
No way. This man's story.
Manny, wait for me.
You do know the only logical explanation, right?
He jumped.
Kraken. Somebody released the Kraken. It's going on.
Practicing his Russian gymnastics on the railing.
Manny.
But he's okay, right? He's good. He's okay.
You realize
Disney rescued
anybody under 50 listening to this show is not getting the Manny reference, and he's not getting the Shelley Winters reference. So
Really?
go back and watch the original Poseidon Adventure, and then come back and
Oh,
watch
it's
our
so
show.
much better.
It is.
It is the original,
Gene
so much
Hackman in
better.
a turtleneck.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman in anything. Love Gene Hackman. Okay.
Are we done with that?
Yes, we're done.
All right.
We've got our Gene Hackman reference in.
We got our
We're
Manny
moving along
And
from
red
here.
buttons.
And red buttons. Manny.
All right, our third and final news story. Fredison Costa repeats as Walt Disney World Marathon champion. Fredison Costa repeated as the champion of the 26.2-mile Walt Disney World Marathon this past Sunday, finishing in 2 hours, 18 minutes, 6 seconds. Walt Disney World Marathon winner of the... Wow, that's kind of messed up. Costa, 37, moved from Brazil to Orlando last year and trains at Disney's ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. Quote, I like to see the whole race, but my favorite part was when I ran through ESPN. I could see my coach. He was just cheering me on. Costa won for the 4th time in 5 years and beat last year's time by more than 3 minutes. Giovanna Martins, 32, of Sao Paulo, led the women. She kissed the ground and wrapped her country's flag around her body when she crossed in 2 hours, 50 minutes, and 20 seconds. Former UCF runner Heather Schultz, 40, was the first area woman to cross and 3rd overall with a personal best of 2 hours, 54 minutes, and 41 seconds. About 26,700 people trotted across the starting line at Epcot after Goofy, Donald Duck, and Mickey counted down to an opening fireworks display.
At 5:30 in the morning, I
gonna
want
say,
you should know.
A chilly morning. Too.
5:30 in the morning, they're setting off fireworks. I thought we were under attack.
The field included 16 wheelchair competitors and runners ranged in age from 18 to 81. The race concluded at Epcot's Spaceship Earth, where winners broke through banners to confetti showers, dancing Disney characters, upbeat music, and screaming spectators.
And I have
They passed him.
I have to tell you something. Look, I have no interest in running. I'm not a runner. Clearly, look at me. But I got to tell you, Disney does an amazing job with these marathons.
Incredible.
The way they're organized, the way they move traffic, and I have to say something here too about the people who run. They're incredibly nice, and they have this energy. They bring this energy onto property when these marathons go on. I've noticed it now a few times. Just very positive and upbeat. And
The endorphins.
They're excited, and I think they just love what they're doing, and they love to be able to do this at Disney World. And it's a really cool time to be on property. I know, we're talking about 27,000 people running a race. I'm sorry, the resorts did feel a little more crowded. Old Key West, Boardwalk in particular, felt a little more crowded than they would normally be, but it was more of a festive atmosphere, actually. It wasn't like, when it's normally crowded and you just have people that are just hot and sweaty and tired trying to get their rooms or do whatever. It was more of a festival atmosphere. And you could tell who the marathoners were after the race because you could see them. They were in agony, some of these people, where they were walking.
What was the weight of that medal?
Medals. Most of them won.
Nice medals, too.
Yeah.
And so I if anybody's thinking that marathon time, if you're not a runner, that marathon time is a bad time to be at Disney World, I would disagree. It's definitely a different vibe. It's a cool vibe. And Disney has done a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant job with the whole Run Disney series, the marathons that they do. What?
There's a woman, you're talking about how nice they are, and someone in chat says, not the women on her high school track team, they were witches.
Well, they're apparently not running this marathon, or maybe they are, and they're just drowned out by the nice people.
I was amazed that this guy has won 4 of the last 5 and keeps beating his time.
That's, good. And I'm amazed that they're all Brazilian. The male and the female winner were Brazilian. So, good for them. Like I said, unless they strap a box of Twinkies to the guy in front of me, I ain't running anywhere.
Even then, I could buy my own Twinkies.
I don't know.
I don't need to run after
You know what?
nobody.
They're going to have to
Scares-
pick something more valuable.
What scares me about this is the stories I'm hearing, because if you're near the end and you don't keep up a certain pace,
You
that
have to get on a bus.
the bus
scoop
pulls
you.
out and you just run right onto the bus and
Yep.
they take you off in another
They
direction.
pick you up and put you in a big old open flatbed like
And people
Soylent Green.
people get really upset because that bus when they
crosses,
sweep
yeah.
when they sweep, the bus actually crosses the path, so you
Yeah.
can't go past it.
Yep.
So like
Oh,
you're
I would
done.
like to see that.
Katie was telling me she saw the bus coming and she was with Scott Travis and he was like urging her to go because they could see the bus was coming and she said she passed and the bus was like she could turn around and touch the bus. It
For
was
those
that
who don't know what we're
close.
talking about, if they don't reach a certain point in a certain time, they won't be able to finish the race
Right.
by the time the race is supposed to be over. So they sort of say, okay, you can't
Yeah, but
finish.
if you've gotten to 25 miles and they pull up the bus, I can see being angry.
Oh, I'd be upset.
I could finish in like 3.5 months.
Well, one of my friends,
finish.
one of my friends on Facebook was talking about that he got to 22 miles and just wasn't able to finish, and how disappointed he felt. And I was like, "Are you kidding? You ran 22 miles."
However, if he ran this race, it also means that he ran like 2 races before that because you have to finish each race
Yes.
before you can run the final race. So 22 miles in the last race is pretty good.
No, look,
It's incredible.
However, Disney, apparently one of the folks in chat says Disney has the slowest sweep time of any marathon.
say it into the microphone.
I'm sorry, Disney has the slowest sweep time, so they really give you as much leeway as possible. I mean,
Well, they actually have this person finished in 2 hours plus, but they have like 6 hours to finish this race.
Yeah,
Oh, and how
So-
many miles are we talking?
26.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a
finished
full
it in
marathon.
3
Never mind.
hours?
Yeah.
2 hours, 18 minutes, and 6 seconds.
Yeah.
It takes us longer than that to drive 26
He could run to the
Stop for bathroom
port
break.
in like 3 hours or something. Wow. No, I would not do that.
You don't want to do it?
No. It's inspiring. Though.
Well, congratulations to everyone who ran in, finished, and participated in the marathon this weekend. Like I said, it was really a great atmosphere around property, and I've noticed that every time I've been on property around marathon time. It's a very festive atmosphere.
It is.
It's an awesome time to be there, and the runners bring nothing but good energy onto property. So, because at first when I realized we were doing this over marathon weekend, I'm like, oh, great, this is gonna be crowded. Remember, I'm looking at like everybody and how everything is. I'm like, this is really cool.
We only had one issue associated to the marathon. We didn't even we planned around the traffic and whatnot, so we were able to avoid the traffic. The only issue that we had was it was kind of crazy getting into Old Key West the day of the marathon.
Old Key West was nuts.
Yeah, people were checking in and stuff like that. That's the only issue. Other than that, it just felt like a happening weekend.
Happening.
It was great. All right, well, that'll do it for the news. Thank you, John. Dustin, you have some things to talk about with our What's the Difference photo.
Yes, I do. We last week we put up a photo on our Facebook. We teased it on the show, and then we put it on the Diz Unplugged Facebook, facebook.com/Diz Unplugged. And there were 2 differences. There's a float of Anna and Elsa on the Festival of Fantasy Parade. And on the left, we have the original photo. On the right, we have the slightly altered photo. And you had to spot 3 differences in the photo. Craig, reveal what they were.
We'll actually put this on the Facebook page because that's where it's going to make the most difference. Because
but we had the balloon over in the side is different. There's an extra snowflake, and then the flowers are different. And pretty much everybody got it. And again, we'll reveal these results on the Facebook page, and then we'll also have a new one for next week. If you go to the next slide, this will be our first image, and again, it's facebook.com/DizUnplugged. What's the difference? We'll have 2 different photos. You'll spot 3 differences after the show.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you for that, Dustin. We're going to move on to Rapid Fire. We're going to start with Johnny.
All right, I have some exciting news.
Oh, goodness.
Super exciting. I think it's exciting. We have a new mug that will be for sale. Thank you. Floating mug, apparently, at the Disboard's Welcome Center.
Show the inside.
The inside's very it's very pretty. It's a different color than the outside, and the spoon matches. They're going to be $9.99 plus tax for I've heard of mugging for the camera, but that's just ridiculous. They're going to be $9.99. I've been mugged. They're going to be $9.99 plus tax. If you are a Dreams Unlimited travel client and you come in and Teresa verifies it because she's got to verify it.
I have ways.
You have ways. We're going to be $5.99 plus tax.
Wait, come back to me. Cut to John.
$5.99.
It does have a spoon. Say spoon.
All right, excellent. So we're very excited about them. I think they're cool. I think they're really neat cups. I'm going to use mine at home. I know people are going to want to know if we can. They can order them and have them mailed to them. Eventually. Not yet. We're a little busy at the moment. Things are a little crazy. So once we get a little free time and the Welcome Center isn't as nuts, we will start.
I'll always be there.
But Teresa will. Teresa
That wasn't creepy at all.
She very flowers in the attic, wasn't it?
She might not have coffee in that cup. Might be something else. So $9.99 plus tax, $5.99 plus tax if you are a Dreams Unlimited travel client.
They
I
want
need
to
to
know
write
if
that
you'll
down.
travel with these and bring them to the New England meet. Go ahead, tell them.
What, I'm going to take him? No.
No,
You got to
we
come pick him up.
Right, we will not travel with them. You will have to either come to the Welcome Center and get them or wait until we offer them for sale online, which will be
Teresa
a
complained
ways
about
away.
bringing them to us.
How many you want, John? 10?
All right. Thank you, John. Kevin.
All right. When I first saw this, I thought, so what? Orlando has been picked as one of the 52 places to visit in 2015, and I thought, like, is that in Florida? Like,
I'm pretty sure Detroit was on the list, too. So
Actually, the only other city in Florida was Miami. This is quite a list.
Miami was much further down.
Right.
42, I
The
think,
number
on the
one
list.
was Milan. And it's because of cultural events, sports events, and artistic events that happen, and Disney World is not what they're talking about. The City Beautiful came in at number 13 on the New York Times 52 places to go in 2015, thanks to having more to do than just visit theme parks. Disney World will no doubt remain the biggest draw in Orlando, but the city is growing up thanks to strong civic development, the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center, the 62-long-mile Sunrail commuter train, and 19,500-seat soccer stadium set to open this year. John and I just went to the Dr. Phillips Center to see Book of Mormon last week on January 4th. And we used to have what they called the Bob Carr Performing Arts Center.
Oh, awful.
And the Bob Carr Performing Arts Center, while we always enjoyed shows there, it was a very old theater. I think it was built in the 30s or 40s, and they had tried to modernize it. And certain shows wouldn't fit there because of the fly space they have.
Well,
behind the
let's be
stage.
honest. The biggest drawback to the Bob Carr was the acoustics. I mean, the worst acoustics of any theater you've ever been in. It's terrible.
It also had no center aisle.
No.
And I saw Beauty and the Beast there years ago, and I was directly in the center, and I realized there were like 64 seats, and I was in the center, which meant there were 31 people on one side of me and 32 people on the other side. And I kept thinking, who am I going to crawl over if there's an emergency? This is a state-of-the-art theater. It's very modern. It's downtown Orlando. It's getting people like Diana Ross is coming next month. So, I mean, we're getting some larger performances.
It's encouraged her to come out from under the rock.
Well,
'Cause she's-
if I was going to be here, I'd go see Diana Ross. I don't know about you. I'll go watch Diana Ross do anything. But it's a beautiful new state-of-the-art theater. So that's what they're talking about. I mean, the number one city in the 52 places to visit was Milan. So it's not like we're competing with Sarasota and Oklahoma, you know? It's like,
I think 13 on the list is pretty impressive.
yeah.
Yeah, well, Milan's making a lot of top lists this year because they have the World Festival or some big festival going on in Milan this year that's supposed to be.
I sent Dustin the link. You're going to put this up?
Yes.
It's amazing the cities that were on there, and to think that Orlando, not Disney World per se, but Orlando is number 13 and beat out Miami.
It's because we have Titanic the Experience on iDrive.
And Capone's Mystery Dinner
That's
Theater.
right.
That's actually Kissimmee. That didn't make the list. But I think this is pretty impressive for us. I strongly recommend that you all check the schedule for the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center prior to your vacation. You never know what you're going to find.
And it's actually the Walt Disney Theater.
That's where the Broadway touring shows perform. But there's a couple theaters in this building. It is absolutely gorgeous and very, very easy to get to.
Awesome.
I'm done.
Thank you, Kevin.
I'm in.
Teresa.
Okay. Walt Disney World hotels will no longer give out prizes in their arcades. In 2013, legislation was passed banning internet cafes, and it appears that Disney is playing it safe and removing claw machines in any game that gives out points to redeem for toys and candy. The law says that no one can win a prize valued at more than 75 cents. There was nothing. Okay.
Really, exactly.
The games also have to be operated by coins, as in the case of many arcades. Disney's games are run by cards.
Anybody have... I was not familiar with his law banning internet cafes.
What it really is it's a crackdown on illegal gambling operations. People were opening internet cafes and allowing people to gamble online there. So it's become sort of this sweep that's saying we're doing away with illegal gambling. I am surprised at Disney's reaction.
Well, you always see little kids in the corner with shooting craps and stuff.
Were you watching Guys and Dolls?
Not your kids.
No, not my kids.
Yeah, I don't think I can't imagine Disney is, anybody would look at what they're doing as illegal gambling or gambling of any kind. It's
Right.
It's an arcade.
I think people who don't know that they can put limits on their kids' cards might end up shocked when they find out that their kids put $150 worth of claw machine on their Key to the World card.
Claw.
Well, it's not
To
on the
get
Key
that
to the
crap.
World card. You got to buy an arcade card
That takes cash only.
that takes cash only. You can't.
Oh, okay.
Or no, you can use a credit card to charge it.
Can you?
I'm pretty sure you can.
Okay.
But you can't use a Magic Band, probably.
No,
Is
I
this
don't
going to
think
go
so.
to cruise line too? I wonder.
Well, cruise lines at sea in international water, so
Okay.
There's gambling is allowed there.
Yeah, Disney ships do have gambling, apparently.
They do.
One of the things that I noticed in this article is that not only is it taking away the prize award-winning, that doesn't sound right, those machines, that like the claw machines and stuff, they're also taking out the prize counters. So, like when you would go to, Chuck E. Cheese or something, you would get tickets and you would get the Frisbee or whatever.
Right.
Those kind of...
that bored person back there waiting for you to choose of the 500 plastic things what you want.
Exactly.
Or the
Those are
little
going
plastic thing
bye-bye.
where you stick your fingers in and
Yeah.
they get caught.
Those are cool. But
Colorful
those
Chinese
people,
finger traps. Yeah.
from what I understand, those people are being relocated to different jobs.
They're running the roulette wheel in the casino.
Yeah, they're.
I was going to say, that's an oddly specific skill set to have. I wonder where they're
think
going.
it's like low on
I'm
the.
sad to
Taking
see it go.
tickets.
I always thought, it was kind of charming. I grew up on the Jersey Shore,
Yeah.
and the arcades in Asbury Park, that was always a big thing as a kid. Going down there, playing skee ball, doing stuff, getting the tickets, and then, getting candy and God knows what else. So it always kind of harkened back to that for me. So I'm kind of sad to see it go for that reason.
It sounds like it's the victim of a technicality. It sounds like that law was passed and they have to technically...
But Disney is also a big target, and if a politician wants to make a name for him or herself doing something where they go after Disney or target that size, certainly an easy way to get some press.
Yeah.
So it may be that they're seeing a vulnerability and they're just trying to close that loophole before anybody takes advantage of it, or maybe they got wind that somebody was planning to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to be ahead
They're
of
now
it.
going to sell scratch-off tickets.
I think many children will be outraged because
Sorry,
they go and hang out in these arcades while the parents are, doing whatever.
Well, the video games will still be there.
Yeah, I mean, all the
but
games
you
and
want
stuff are there.
the little tiny kids. They want that little prize.
Take
they
me
want
to
that.
Them Busters then.
Well,
Chuck E. Cheese.
So you think there's going to be like really gangs of upset kids? It's
I
going
think
to be like
they're going to be
newsies?
roaming.
It's going to be newsies.
They're going to be.
People season the day. Yeah.
We can hope.
Do me a favor.
That would be awesome.
I'll give you $10. Name another song
That's
from
all I
Newsies.
know.
Seize the day.
Season the day. That's all I know.
All right, thank you, Teresa. Jenny Lynn.
Mine's really short, and that is that there's going to be a construction crane in the back of the Cinderella's castle
Oh, Lord in heaven, why?
until February 21st because they'll be removing the lights from the castle. But I'm not sure why it takes that long. Is that normal?
It took them 18 months to build a damn parking garage.
I know, but is that normal?
It takes them a good 6 weeks to put them up and 6 weeks to take them down.
Okay.
And they still can't light the entire castle.
I don't
Maybe I'm
understand.
just used to seeing cranes because of
About
all the
the same at my
construction
house,
from
though.
New
Right,
Fantasyland
New
and whatever
Fantasyland.
else.
Those 2
I've
weeks to take
become
down
immune
our
to the
Christmas
sight of
tree.
cranes, but yeah, there's going to be a crane
I'm surprised they
positioned
haven't
near the
figured.
castle.
Okay, let's not talk over each other.
I apologize. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so there's a crane that's going to be positioned next to the castle. Everyone will have to adjust your expectations for your vacation pictures, I suppose.
I'm surprised they haven't come up with a different technology. this far in to figure out something else that they can do to like that.
Poking them through the walls or something like that.
I mean, like rolling them up.
Shoot him out like the Grinch they did on that movie. You know how they
Shoot them with a gun.
yeah.
That's Universal. That's how Universal does it.
Sorry.
All right. Thank you, Jenny Lynn. Dustin.
Yeah, I have. What is it? Okay. Yes, there's a preview of the new Cinderella film, and her golden gilded coach will be coming to Hollywood studios. So this is March 17th. What on earth? Yeah, March 17th it starts this year. Disney's Hollywood Studios at the ABC Sound Studio, where the Drew Carey thing was. You're going to see an exclusive preview of Disney's newest film due out this spring, and outside of the theater is a one-of-a-kind golden coach from the film, and that'll be on display from February 1st to April 11th. So that starts on March 17th if you want to get a 30-minute preview of the Cinderella film.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm excited about that film.
I saw that and I thought it was her life coach, not.
Susan Powder. Trying to encourage.
Okay.
Really, you had to go back a long way to pull Susan Powder out.
You really have to set your expectations higher.
All right. Thank you, Dustin.
You're
Craig.
welcome.
Okay, yeah, I got two. My first big one is Flame Tree Barbecue Favorites are moving to other locations during its rehab that's running through March 31st. So if you like turkey legs, they're now going to be at Trilobites in Dino Land, USA, along with pulled pork from Flame Tree, and the barbecue chicken will be at Beasley Kiosk in Discovery Island, along with the ribs. And then you can also get the chicken and the ribs over at the Gardens Kiosk in Discovery Island as well. So if that's your favorite restaurant, then you are in luck. You'll be able to still find it even though it's gone. And for my second rapid fire, got more late breaking news on food trucks over at downtown Disney. Trattoria, the Al Forno, the new dining experience at Boardwalk, I guess restaurant is what most people would call that. I'm trying to think too much. Yeah, it's going to be a first ever food truck takeover with Trattoria. Some of the food items on the menu there, they're going to be featured at the food trucks at downtown Disney from January 16th to the 18th.
That was an awful lot of words to tell us that Trattoria food is coming to a food truck.
Hey, thank
That was
you.
confusing.
Well, why didn't you just do it?
Because it was your rapid fire.
It was.
And it's
it
what
was
I
just
pay you for.
going on and on. I was just trying to figure it out what he was saying.
I was trying to find the other part in the story where it actually has the menu items.
Next week he's going to do it with interpretive dance.
I'm just going to write it
sign
down
it.
and hold it up. But so you're going to find a meatball and a sourdough bread bowl with house-made Sunday gravy, lasagna, and tiramisu.
Is this going to be a normal
say, like,
thing
it's a
where they
lasagna?
have
Hold
the
on, one
rest?
person at a
Lasagna.
time. You guys are getting really bad about talking over each other. One person at a time. What are you
Thanks.
asking?
I was just wondering if do we know if this is going to be a regular thing where restaurants are going to feature in the food trucks?
Maybe.
I hope
First
not.
ever.
Say the L
Kind
word
of
again.
weird.
Lasagna.
And he did say lasagna.
Meatball in a bowl.
Meatball and
With
a
Sunday
sourdough
gravy.
bowl.
It's very Sopranos.
All right. That'll do it for an odd rapid fire. We're going to move on and talk about the top 10 threads for disboards.com in 2014. No big surprises on this list. We've talked about all of them throughout the year. Number 10 and number 9, actually, the 2014 Beach and Yacht Club FAQ. And at number 9, the new Caribbean Beach Resort FAQ. Probably some of the best content you will find on disboards.com. On the resorts board, the FAQs for each of the resorts, these are maintained by fans. They are incredibly detailed and really well done. And it's just a great place to get a lot of information on these resorts. So the Beach and Yacht Club FAQ at number 10. The new Caribbean Beach Resort FAQ at number 9. Coming in at number 8. Anyone heard of Firefly Car Rental? Has anyone heard of Firefly Car Rental? No. But this apparently became a very popular thread last year, discussing this Firefly Car Rental, and I don't know much about them.
Is that the one where you go to a parking lot and pick up the car and the key's hidden and?
Like a treasure hunt?
No, it's like the cars are parked all over the city, and you just pick a location and it's like in parking lots at colleges and
I
stuff.
think that's called stealing.
Yeah, it's called Grand Theft Auto.
Anyway, never mind.
Well, the thread was started by Walt Mick, who wrote, "I was just checking prices on a minivan for the end of October on Orbitz, and they offered me a price for Firefly car rental, which was about $65 less than all the others. I've never heard of Firefly, so I Googled it, and it looks like they mainly operate in Europe. Anyone know about them? It says they are in terminal, so no shuttle. My best price was for October 26th to the 30th was from Dollar and Thrifty for $225, where Firefly was $158.
You said Orlando, it's in terminal?
That's what they said.
That's a lie.
And so this obviously became a very popular thread. I haven't read through it. Tell you
The
why.
zip car. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So no, this is not Zipcar.
Have you seen the billboard on 528 that says that if you park at this one place, you'll park closer to your gate? That cracks me up. Like the cars are in the terminal.
Number 7. Yes, touring Cinderella's Dream Suite was amazing, and I have to bring this one up. This was, I believe, a trip report, and why is this taking so long to come up? Come on. There we go. Yes, Disney Trip Reports. Emmy's mommy. It was a top thread of the month, and she wrote a great trip report, which obviously got a lot of traffic, and a great picture of her, and I assume that's her daughter, in the Dream Suite. So that was our number 6.
No, 7.
Number 7, excuse me. Number 6, posted by Andrew Willie, the Be Our Guest Lunch Fast Pass thread. This is a popular thread. A lot of people discussing the Be Our Guest Lunch Fast Pass that is available to certain people when they're booked to stay on site, and the changes that have been happening in that. Ever present on any top 10 list for disboards.com, number 5, free dining 2014. And that's always pretty much a guaranteed, a given. And number 3, I'm sorry I'm not more prepared here, guys.
It's number 4.
That's number 4. Was Be Our Guest Lunch Fast Pass. Was number 4.
Oh.
What was 6?
Oh, wait, no, that's right. That's right. We have 2 of them. The Andrew Willie thread on Be Our Guest Lunch Fast Pass is number 6. Number 5, free dining 2014. And there is another Be Our Guest Lunch Fast Pass thread that came in at number 4. So
Okay.
Be Our Guest Lunch Fast Pass threads were
Popular.
And that was Mom of Twin Princesses, posted that on Disney Dining Reservations. And that was number 4. Number 3, free dining 2014 discussion. So see a pattern here.
Yeah.
Between the Be Our Guest Lunch Fast Pass threads and
Free
But I
dining.
can guess what 2 and 2 is. And I'm not even on the
number 2 is actually a stalwart thread. That was number 2 last year as well. Stateroom Mickey Ears and Then Some by our friend I Drive Illumina. I drive a Dodge Stratus. And this is a very constantly a very, very popular thread if you want to learn how to decorate your stateroom door. Just don't put any URLs on it. If you want to learn how to decorate your stateroom door and have ideas, want to get some ideas for designs, this is a great, great thread. And by virtue of the fact that she was number 2 last year, she got a gift card last year. I'm going to give her a $250 gift card this year as well to I Drive Illumina for having the number 2 thread 2 years in a row. It's very, very impressive.
You add those up together, you're basically number 1.
Okay, well, that's if we're doing the top 10 threads over the last 2 years. But no surprise here, the number 1 thread. Disboards.com for 2014 Fast Pass Plus basic info by our friend Mesa Boy 2. This has been such he has done such a great job of keeping the information on this very, very current with all the changes to FastPass Plus. Everything you would ever need to know about FastPass Plus is included in this thread. He has done a wonderful, wonderful job with it. It deserves to be number one, and he deserves the $500 gift card that we're going to be sending him for having the number one thread on disboards.com in 2014. Now, while I'm on the subject of disboards.com, I do want to mention something. If you are a regular Disboard visitor, you may have noticed over the last week we've been having some issues. There have been issues with certain Google ads when they come up. We're redirecting people to another site. I want to assure everybody that, A, it's not malware. There's no virus involved. This was actually in Google's ad network. The ads that show up on Disboards are all served up by Google Ads. And somehow ads got in there that when they would show up, were redirecting people to other sites. So we have done everything we could on our side to mitigate that at this point, including pulling a lot of Google ads off the Diz until it's fixed. Google has been incredibly unresponsive in dealing with this. This is not just happening to us. This has been happening to a bunch of sites running Google ads and a bunch of big sites running Google ads. And Google has just usually they're very, very good about addressing stuff like this. But it was like they took the weekend off or something because we couldn't get anybody to answer our emails over the weekend about it until yesterday, until Monday.
It would be one thing if it was just like no names, ad service or whatever, but it's Google, you expect something.
Right, exactly. So I just wanted to kind of let everybody know about that we are aware of it. We've done everything we can do on our side. We're pretty sure the issue has stopped at this point, that we've been able to isolate the ads and block them. But that was out of our control. We're doing everything we can on our side, but Google's got to fix it on theirs. Also, speaking about the boards, I am comfortable now announcing that there will be some very major changes coming to the boards in the next, I'll give myself a little time here, next 2 months. We are moving away from vBulletin altogether. We are moving to new software that will be much, much more mobile friendly. We know you've had a lot of problems with the disboards.com app. That app is run by Forum Runner, and it is terrible, and I hate it, and it doesn't work, and I apologize for that. When we move to these new boards, there will be no need for an app. It will be mobile-friendly and completely responsive. You won't need to download anything. Just be able to go to it from your browser. We are working very, very hard. Corey and Alex are both working very, very hard to get that ready. We are preparing the new servers, and, the boards are not small. These are massive, massive amounts of information, massive amounts of traffic. We're talking tens of millions of page views every month going through those boards. So
I have a favor to ask.
Yeah.
Will you assure people that they will not lose their post counts?
Oh, absolutely not. No, there's no problem.
Last time we did one of these,
no,
and there was a great deal.
No, you're thinking of 2000. We had a crash.
That's last time.
And the last time that we've done many board migrations since then. No post counts are being lost. Right. All your information is carrying over. I've been assured that they do these migrations all the time between vBulletin and this new software, and we have somebody from the company that has built the software that is handling the migration for us. There'll be a lot of testing that'll be done, obviously, before that goes live. But all the post counts carrying over, everything's carrying over. It's just going to be a lot more functionality, and it's going to be a lot friendlier on mobile devices, which is the main reason that we're doing this, because I'm sick of the app, and this is what I want. I want software that works well on mobile devices in 2015. So my apologies to everyone personally for the issues that you've been having with the boards this past week, and in terms of the mobile site and the mobile app for a while now. But we are doing something about it. We're doing our best, and we just ask for your patience. So that is going to do it for me. Coming up in just a little while, Dustin West and the team are going to talk about the best times to visit Disney World in 2015. We hope you enjoyed this episode of our show. We'll be back with you again next time with the next edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, everyone. And remember, stay out of the damn lakes. See you next week.